Conscious Creation with Cassandra. Don't do this. Do not record and drive, okay? I shouldn't be doing it either, but I will promise to keep my eyes on the road. Okay, I just have to record this because the moment has come now and I need to talk about this now. It cannot wait, simply cannot wait. So, what if everything we know to be true was not actually true? The way that our society works and the rules we follow and the beliefs we have about something dictates how we see something else. So that something else we see and interpret based off of our beliefs or the evidence that we have from our past of what possibly this new thing could be. And we fit this new thing without even knowing it into a compartment based off of the facts we think we have, based off of our beliefs, based off of other people's opinions, based off of knowledge that is already out there. We formulate a constructive opinion / idea / belief even of this new thing, even though we've never seen it before and we don't know the answer, but we use our context clues, we have a brain for that, to kind of deduce what could it possibly be within the vocabulary of what we already know. And yes, we are the most advanced species in this world, but there's a limit to our ability to think or to compute or to analyze. Yes, we are the smartest species, well, intellectually complex species on this planet at this moment in time, but that doesn't mean that because we are, that we know everything that is out there. We don't. We have a very limited perception of what's going on, the bigger picture. And even though some of us do speculate what the bigger picture is and define it based off of context clues that we have, it doesn't mean that those speculations or those conclusions are true. They are just that, speculation based off of our human brain, which doesn't mean it is all-encompassing for everything in this whole universe in terms of intelligence. What I'm trying to say is we have a limited intelligence. Take artificial intelligence. Take what the computer could do that our brains cannot do. That's just one example. So now take artificial intelligence plus human intelligence, multiply that to the nth power, and you have the universal intelligence. Our mind cannot even comprehend that or begin to compute what that is because it is far more complex than what we have an ability to do between our ears. Thus, the conclusions we have come to about all that stuff, about the universe and about what's going on, the bigger picture and things like that, is a perception of our current abilities. So what I'm saying is, we defined God based off of the human perception. What if the definition of God is something that we can't even begin to understand because we do not have the capacity in our brains to understand such a complex entity or existence that's forever expanding, that's using us to further expand themselves. So just something to think about, how we have all these things defined and these rules in place and these human perception of how the world works, but what if it doesn't work like that? What if we're just using somebody's idea or perception or knowledge or truth that they've concluded that may actually not be that at all? So I guess what I'm saying is, yes, you can follow the masses in terms of what one human's perception is that is then infused into the media and twisted and turned to be more commercialized. You could use that as your basis of making decisions or as your goggles of perception of a given thing, Or you could use your own ideas, own beliefs, own ability to analyze between your ears to formulate your own opinion. That might be very, very different from what the masses is. And that's okay, because we are meant to expand. We are meant to grow. And if your opinion challenges the masses' opinion, who knows? You might even be right. Whatever right means, you might have the concept better constructed in your head than what is being portrayed in the masses. For example, yes, we are a very advanced species. Yes, we have all this infrastructure, but there's so many millions of things that are unknown to us. In simple science, how things work. We speculate how things work with cells and viruses and things like that, or how the world works, but we don't know it for fact, and we have a very hard time to figure that out because it is outside of our current scope of human ability. We're heading that way, but even come to think of it, we're in 2025. We've created artificial intelligence. We have something thinking for us using the information that we gave it, which came from our perceptions. Thus, even artificial intelligence may not have the capacity to tell us how things actually work because we're giving it inputs of our own creation, which is limited, as I've mentioned. So just some juicy, fun things to think about here about humanity and our limitations as a species, and not having the need to get caught up in something because that something might not even be true. That energy that we hold about, oh, you can't do that, may not even be true. None of it could be accurate, and thus peace and happiness, I think, is a more fruitful place to get to be, to thrive in, because it is expansive versus the limitations that we put on ourselves and our fellows of, well, it has to be this, it has to be within this box. God has to be defined by what we know, and thus it fits into this shape that we have created with previous beliefs or previous perceptions. In reality, we don't know shit. We don't know. Break those boundaries, break those perceptional guidelines, because it could be something completely unheard of, unknown to us, something that would blow our minds, and that might be the truth. And same with any aspect or any topic. There's so much we don't know, and even if we know, it could be construed so that it's somebody else's knowing looking completely different. So use your best judgment, and I would say it's more worthwhile to vibrate in the energy of peace and joy than it is being limited or confined by a concept that might not even be true. Okay, take care.